of you that are on the video, if you don't want to be on video, you can always turn it off. So I'm going to go ahead
Linda, do
and
you do something to excellent.
absolutely. We're going to go into a grounding. We're going to get everybody here.
Fabulous.
I'll introduce you and then have you introduce yourself more, Renee. I'm so happy you're here. So happy Sandy is here as well. Great to see you, meet you, Sandy. So what we're going to do right now is for those that will watch the replay later and may not know me, I'll just share a little bit about myself and then we'll go into a grounding. And well, actually, I'll do me, then I'll do you, Renee, and then we'll go into a grounding. Yeah,
okay, great.
So, of course, Mother Mary's already here, and I feel her very strongly. And I just want to thank beautiful Renee for being here. I've been feeling Mother Mary's energy and Mary Magdalene's energy very strongly. And when I was asking who wanted to be featured in the circle, I kept feeling Renee, 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 because your name's been coming up a lot lately. And I was like, okay, I hear you, Mother Mary. So I am a transformational facilitator for women. I've been doing this for about 10 years, and I met Renee maybe, 7 years ago or something like
If
that?
not more, yeah, probably 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
Yeah, and so she was one of my early clients, and she was part of a mentorship, and she graduated from the mentorship, and her gifts beautifully awakened, and she's been doing these incredible channelings directly from Mother Mary, and also creating this most fabulous collage art that features Mother Mary or aspects of Mother Mary that are just stunning. So anyway, it's been beautiful to watch her beautiful blooming. And so I'm so happy she's going to be here as part of our Sacred Sister Circle. And so what I want to do right now is just kind of tune us in, get us here, get us grounded, and then we will open to even more. So Renee, did you want to share a little bit, or you want to wait until we kind of ground in?
I plan to share a lot about my journey as part of my introduction. So let's ground in.
Okay, good. So what we're going to do right now is we're just going to allow ourselves to just get here and be here. And so it's okay if you just want to close your eyes. If you want to turn off your cameras, that's fine too. And you just want to just get here. And so I usually like to begin by having people placing their hand or hands over the heart space. And anytime you want to really just kind of bring yourself into the body and to calm the nervous system, placing a hand or hands over the heart space actually starts to calm your nervous system. So we're just going to allow ourselves to just be here now, calming down our nervous system, allowing ourselves to move into a beautiful space in the heart in order to really open and expand to receive the beautiful blessings that are going to be here for us, inviting in that beautiful energy that is Mother Mary to be here with each of us, showering her love, her blessings on us. And so in this space, just allowing yourself to take some long, deep breaths and allowing yourself to just really ground in and get here now so you can really be fully present for the beautiful gifts that Mother Mary has for us today. So as you breathe in, you're breathing in beautiful light and life. And as you exhale, you're just letting go of the day for right now, letting go of anything that may be creating mental noise. You're just going to let that go right now. You're just going to allow yourself to just be here now as you exhale, exhaling all of the day away, inhaling in more light, and then exhaling any stress in the body, any tightness, any constriction. You want to kind of let that go as well. So each time you breathe in, you're breathing in more light, more lightness. And then every time you exhale, just releasing out any tension, stress, heaviness in the body. Again, breathing in, just taking in lots of breath, filling up the lungs. And then as you exhale, just letting go of anything, everything that's in the body, stuck in the body. You can even move the body or shake the body a little bit just to kind of allow yourself to just get here. And then placing your attention on the bottom of your feet now. And just feeling the feet touching the floor, imagining your feet are actually touching the earth, and just rooting yourself in, just allowing yourself to just root in. I love to imagine roots growing out of my feet or roots growing out of my tailbone into the earth. That really feels good to me, to feel earth holding me. So just feel yourself anchoring in to Mother Earth with your roots. I like to feel Mother Earth's beautiful hands just grabbing my roots and kind of pulling them down into the earth to anchor me more. Because the deeper we can go in our grounding, the higher we can go in our vibration. So we want to really match Mother Mary's vibration right now. So we want to really ground in deep into the earth so that we can allow our spiritual vibration to rise even higher. So just really anchor in. I like to visualize roots growing all the way to the center of Mother Earth, wrapping around Mother Earth's heart, right in the center, and then feeling that beautiful energy rising up my roots from Mother Earth's heart, and just feeling Mother Earth send me a beautiful pulse of her energy, her life force, up my roots, up my feet. Let that beautiful energy flow gently up my legs into the energy below my belly button. Then let that energy rise into the heart. And I like to visualize beautiful roses in my heart. And so we're just going to imagine beautiful roses, whatever color roses are your favorite. Maybe they're red, they're pink, or they're yellow. Maybe they're white. Maybe they're another special color. So imagine those roses blooming in your heart and feeling your beautiful heart light open up to the room. And then let that beautiful light rise out the top of your head to connect to that divine light 300 feet above you. So it's as if a beam goes straight out the top of your head and it just connects to this beautiful luminous cloud. And that cloud can be whatever color or colors. Maybe it's a white cloud. This beautiful image just reminds you that you're always connected to Source, even if you don't feel it, even if you forget, even if sometimes you think you're not. We're always sourced by Source, and this image just reminds you. Divine Source is connected to you. You're connected to Source. So in this moment, we're going to invite grace to come in. So imagine this beautiful golden energy coming down from that cloud through the top of your head and letting that beautiful golden grace flow all the way into the body. This is a beautiful, soft, golden energy. It's very calming. Just feel it flowing into the body. Let it flow into every cell. Let it flow all the way down to the feet, to the tips of the fingers, and just let this beautiful grace just flow into the body. And then let it expand around your body so that you're in this beautiful floating golden energy of grace. And we allow this beautiful grace to be here, allowing this grace to work in us and around us as it raises our vibration to be present here, feeling, sensing, hearing the beautiful gift that is the presence of Mother Mary, and allowing this beautiful energy to just envelop us, hold us, bring us those gifts that maybe our hearts are needing right now in whatever way. And in this beautiful space of just being here, feeling the softness that is the beautiful energy of Mother Mary, who works very intimately with Renee, who works very intimately with all of us, all of her children who call her. So just know she's here for all of us, not just some. She's here for all. And so Renee is going to be sharing with us some beautiful wisdom and messages from Mother Mary, that she truly is a mother for the modern age. And so in this beautiful space, allowing yourself to be here, be present, heart open to receive the gifts. I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to our beautiful guest, Renee, to share more with us about her journey with Mother Mary and any other wisdom she wants to share.
Thank you so much, Linda. Can everyone hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Good? Okay. Okay. So what a journey. In my description, of myself, I said that I ended an 18-year career in education back in 2011. And that was a scary thing. Anytime you end a career, I know Linda knows this because that's how I met her, was talking about this. And at that time in 2011, I didn't know what I was going to do next. I just knew that I had to leave teaching. I had to leave. I was a teacher for 14 of those 18 years. I knew I had to leave or die because the stress was just so much, and it just felt so miserable. That's all I knew. That's the only certainty I had, leave or die. So I left. I jumped, and I didn't know what I was jumping into. But I had a sense that it involved some sort of service. But that was it. Was I looking for a service job? I don't know. What's the job description on Indeed? I'm not sure. So I spun my wheels around and around after leaving teaching and tried to figure it out. And I was having a really tough time finding that next job. And I was looking for a job. And I thought, why can't I figure this out? I'm a smart person. Why can't I figure it out? So I asked for some help from Linda, who I had just met, working just a temporary job at my yoga studio at the front desk. And we started chatting, and I realized that Linda's path and my path were very similar. And she told me what she did, and I thought, that's interesting. And so we sat down, and I had a session with her. And this was after a couple of sessions. I had to do a warm-up session because being a Catholic, I learned through my Catholic upbringing that talking to fortune tellers or to channelers was not good. So I was a little concerned, but I thought, well, we have a similar background, and she seems like a cool person to me. I'm going to give it a try. So I ended up going to speak to Linda in the spring of 2012. And I said, look, I'm trying, and I can't think of what it is I'm supposed to do with my life next. So can you help me out? And so she, called in all of her divine counsel to come on in. And they were coming in. And she said, wait a minute, there's some divine goddess energy. Do you have any idea who that might be? And I said, is it Mary? And she said, yes, it is Mary. And she's here, and she has something she wants to tell you. So this is where I got this special offer, this job description. Like, here you are spinning your wheels, and if you so desire, if you choose it, here is something you can do. You can be of service to people, to humanity, by being a messenger to Mary, or of Mary. And actually what she had said at the time was things that I never knew. Like I said, I grew up Catholic, and I knew Mary. I loved her. She was a figure that just gave me a tremendous amount of peace, but I was never the little girl that had visions, or I wasn't like the little children at Fatima that got, special messages from an apparition or anything like that. It surprised me because I never saw it coming, and I needed some help understanding that this was something that was there for me, this relationship with Mary. And Linda was one of the people that helped me to understand it. Actually, if I were to back up, I had talked to another woman who calls herself a muse, and she was also helping me try to figure out what I was supposed to do. And she said, did you know that you're with Mary, that you're in Mary's lineage? And I was like, oh, well, okay, interesting. So she presented that idea, but Linda took it further and gave me this description of a life with Mary that involved leading people, groups of people to Mary's sacred sites in France, such as Lourdes, or to other places where she's appeared and given messages, and to take them there and to teach them or help them to understand Mary, but in a different way. And I thought, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? A, I know nothing about travel or arranging travel for groups. B, I know nothing about Mary. Who am I? I'm just this lady in Austin. I'm not a scholar I don't teach at the university, and I'm not a nun or whatever. I thought of 1,000,001 reasons why I was not the right person to do this job, but I was willing to consider it. I was willing to consider the offer, and I knew that I had to go really deep in 2012 and consider the offer. And I took a journey to Lourdes. I'd never been there, and I arrived. I didn't honestly like it. And I had several days there, and I thought, oh, what am I doing here? I don't understand. I don't like this. And I just had to stop talking. I had to relax into being in Mary's presence and being in this sacred space, and allow her to just start working on me in a way that I didn't understand, because I had just come out of a career in teaching. I didn't know anything about this spiritual work. I didn't know anything about energy or any of that. I did not speak that language. I didn't know anything about channeling, nothing. So I really had to allow her to work on me while I was there for that first time in Lourdes. And I started to come to understand what my relationship with her and what my work with her would be if I were to choose it. And just in some of the interactions that I had with people in Lourdes, in sitting down and praying with a woman who was a total stranger, and sitting down and talking with some people, and just sitting next to people and holding hands with them and feeling the energy and the connection to Mary, I was like, all right, I'm kind of understanding what this work is. And when I came home from France and that time with Mary in 2012, I was like, all right, I don't know what I'm doing. This scares the you know what out of me, but I'll do it. I will do it, even though I feel like I'm the wrong person. And I don't know why you picked me, because I'm just one lady. I'm a lady in Austin. I don't know. I said yes to Mary. And all these years later, that was 2012, this is 2020, I now understand that 2020 or 2012 was such a pivotal year energetically. Again, I didn't really understand that at the time, but that was the start. That was the invitation. That was the walk through the door with Mother Mary. And all of these years, I've been preparing myself and undergoing this this opening and this energetic change. And also, I've deepened my understanding of who is Mary and how do we talk to her and how should we have a relationship with her and who she isn't. I had to let go of a lot of Catholicism. My relationship with the church has changed. I still consider myself a Catholic, but I'm a conflicted Catholic. And I think there are a lot of conflicted Catholics out there in the world, especially if you're a woman, because we've been erased out of the Catholic Church. But Mary is still this figure, and she wants us to be with her, and it doesn't have to be in this Catholic Church context. So all this time, all these 8 years up to 2020, I understand I had to go through this transformation to get here so that I could help women in this crossover into the divine feminine. And that has been mind-blowing. Let's see. So yeah, all right. I'm trying to think if there's, Linda, you know me from way back when. Is there anything that I left out of that story before I go on?
Yeah, no, I love the fact that that when you're called, you know, there's that story of the heroine's journey, you know, where you're being invited on this journey, and you're like, me? Who am I? I remember that.
Yes.
The struggle that you had with the why me? Who am I? You know, to be asked to serve in this way in the world. And so it's been beautiful, like I said, to see this beautiful expansion of you, this blooming, because the thing is that we have to just be willing. And then I feel like, you know, divine does the deeper work if we're willing to be able to keep moving things out of the way that are blocking the true light, the true service that you're here to give. So you've been in this incredible surrender. You know, every single year, one more surrender and one more surrender and some more layers of surrender. That finally awareness that yes, you're here to serve the divine feminine through, in this case, Mother Mary. So it's just been amazing to watch.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. And it still continues. In this work that I do, I am just a person. I am just a human, and I said yes, and I don't have all the answers. I receive a lot of information, a lot of beautiful messages from Mary, but I'm here to share them. So I am I am a servant, but I'm not a scholar, and I don't have a credential. I don't know what that credential would look like. Mother Mary University. So anyway, I wanted to talk to you about a couple of different things that Mother Mary wants us to know in the modern age. And one of them is how to connect with her, because we might think about the old school way. I don't know if anybody has a Catholic background. Does anybody have? Yes, all right, good. So you might think that the only way, or one of the big ways, is to get out your rosary beads and to do the rosary. And that's a beautiful way to connect with her. She would never say, don't do the rosary. That is, no prayer is a bad prayer. There's so many ways to connect with her, and if this is your special way, if it reminds you of your grandmother, and you have this special connection, and you connect with Mary in this way, keep doing it. It's beautiful. But there are a lot of other ways that you can connect with her that are very easy, and it doesn't involve going to church or saying a special prayers in a certain order. You can just put your hands on your heart. She will often say, she'll remind me, because I get up in my head and I get frustrated and I'm like, what am I doing? I see this. I have this image in my head of her going, shh. She'll say, please speak with me through your heart. Connect with me through your heart. Your heart is my home. I've gotten those words exactly. Your heart is my home. So if ever you want to connect with Mary, put your hands on your heart, envision your heart, and just invite her, call her in. And in whatever words you choose, they don't have to be any specific words. Just say, Mother Mary, I wish for you to hear me in my heart. One technique I got recently, because again, I was up in my head trying to figure out the what next in a very human way. I must figure this out. Again, she said, imagine, if you wish to connect with me, imagine that you're breathing through your heart. So that air, that the respiration comes in through the heart and out through the heart, in through the heart and out through the heart. And that just instantly connects you to her. And then say whatever you'd love to say. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It can be thank you, and I love you, and I'm so grateful, and show me the way. Or you can tell her your fears. You can tell her your deepest, darkest secrets, your joys, your anxieties. The thing is, Mary would really love to take any of the pains that you're feeling, the sorrow, the fear, the anxiety, and she would like for you to share it with her, but she'd also like to hold it for you. So just surrender it over to her and say, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I don't know how to handle this anymore. And give it to her. She's asking you actually to please give her whatever is burdening you. You don't have to hold it. I like to visualize in my head kind of funny metaphors. So if it's giving her a cinder block, which is your sorrow and pain, she'll hold it, she'll take it. Sure. If it's an anvil, like from the cartoons, the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner cartoons, give her the anvil, which is your fear. She'll take it. She'll take it off your hand so you don't have to hold it anymore. And imagine what an anvil must feel like. It's really heavy and you don't have to lug it around with a chain behind you. Hand it over. She would really like for you to surrender that, because it's taking up space where love lives, where joy lives, where the divine lives. And that is the place where the Blessed Mother, where Mother Mary would like for you to be in your life. She would like for you to have that energy and that way of being. At this time, especially in the time of the divine feminine, because that's what's going to help us feel better. The people around you who love you will feel this new love and joy energy, but also it helps humanity. So it's no small thing to hand over the sorrow, the pain, the anxiety that you carry. And this all starts with a prayer in your heart, a prayer for help, a prayer to call her in and just talk to her. Interestingly, Mother Mary would like for you to talk to her like a sister or a best friend, a girlfriend. And that might sound strange because we think of Mary as being, pristine and a queen, and she sits on a cloud, and she's, she seems remote, and she's maybe somebody that we should look up to. But truthfully, she is with us. She is with us side by side. I have a story. On one of my travels, I went to Rome, and there's a famous basilica there called the Santa Maria Maggiore. And it's a shrine, or it's an apparition site. That's why I really wanted to go there, because it's a big one, and it's one of the oldest. It's one of the oldest churches to Mary, and I thought, ooh, I can't wait to go there, and I'm gonna hang out with Mary. So I went, And I went through the doors, and it's this enormous basilica. It's very ornate, lots of gold and paintings and beauty and etc. And I looked around, toured around, and I thought, I don't feel Mary here. Where is Mary? This is her basilica. I don't feel her. I don't connect with her here. And after I left, disappointed because I thought I'd have this revelation, I was thinking about it, and I heard the words, you don't have to go to the basilica to connect with Mary. It's a visual place for us people to go, and we can look at the splendor, and if that helps you connect, awesome. If a statue, beautiful, marble statues and paintings and stained glass and all of it helps you connect with Mother Mary and God, awesome. That's wonderful. But you can connect with Mary anywhere because she's with you on the street. You don't have to go to the palace or the cathedral. And I saw that in Rome. There are little statues of Mary above people's doorways and on the corner. She really is literally in the street with us. And that's a perfect visual for where she actually is. So please talk to her like she's your like a girlfriend, or like a loving sister, or a mother. She's all of those things. It might sound strange that she's all those things, but she is your friend and your sister and your mother. So please talk to her like that, because she is here to help you. She's here to connect with you. She is wanting you to be the best person, the best woman that you can be, so that you can be of service to all the people who are around you that you love, like your daughters. And also you are, this helps you to be in greater service to humanity. Okay, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was rethinking sin. And this is interesting, especially since us, those of us who grew up Catholic, we had it really hammered into us that we are sinners. And I got some clear messages in the past couple of years that I've been scared to share. I'm afraid, that people with pitchforks and torches are gonna kick my door down and take me away still, because, if I start to question sin. But I experienced it recently when I led a rosary on Facebook Live. I was praying the Hail Mary, and one of the lines is, "Pray for us sinners." And I was like, I catch on that because in the past couple of years, or a couple of years ago, I asked in my meditative state, what are the words? If you were to give me new words for the Hail Mary, what would they be? And I heard, it starts off the same, Hail Mary, full of grace. Okay. The Lord is with thee. And instead of, blessed art thou among all people, I got, blessed art thou among all people. So not just women, everybody. And blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Okay, that's the same. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us in our humanness. Pray for us in our humanness. Now and forever. Amen. And that just felt like the better word for sin. Kind of like the 21st century, maybe, interpretation of sin. Perhaps sin was back, 2,000 years ago. Perhaps sin had to be interpreted as what it was. Like if you do something wrong, that doesn't follow the commandments, it's a sin, and God's keeping a ledger, and you know, you get a bunch of black marks and you go to hell. I don't know. Maybe that's something that had to, that's the way people understood it back then. But there's a new way that we can understand sin now, and that is that we are human, and that we have free will, and we make choices, and sometimes those choices are not the best choices for us. But every day is a new day, and we can ask for help, because the truth is, we are always loved and we are always forgiven. I've gotten this message from Mary a lot. It comes up a lot. Like one she really wishes for me to keep saying over and over again. We are loved and we are forgiven. And she says, if people only knew how loved and forgiven you are, you would let go of this feeling of shame and guilt because you think that you're a sinner. You know, if you were just to say a prayer and ask for some help, there you are forgiven, and that's it. You don't have to take it up again and keep dragging it along behind you, thinking about that cinder block, you know, on a rope. You know, just hand it over. You're loved and forgiven always. You were never not loved, never not loved. And I there was something that I wrote back in 2016 in a journal, kind of on this topic of sin, about why we need to rethink sin. And this last piece says, "You loved and already forgiven. You are welcomed anytime, all the time. You are welcomed anytime, all the time, with open arms. Why beat yourself up? Why self-flagellation? Why the self-flagellation? Why the condemnation? Receive that love and forgiveness now." And now is in capital letters with exclamation points. Ask for help. Please see the joy in this. No more of this sinful, sorrowful, beat your breast business. So in Rethinking Sin, just to reframe it in terms of this, we are human and we make mistakes, and that's okay. And you ask for some help and you say you're sorry, and then you feel embraced because you're so loved and so forgiven. And maybe I should just pause there for a moment. If anybody has anything they want to say or add, or anything, I'll just take a breather.
Wow, thank you so much, Renee, for sharing that. You know, it's so interesting, this programming that many, because I was Catholic, my family's Catholic. There's generations of Catholicism in my family on both my mother's and my father's side. So I very much grew up with Catholicism and all of its catechism and all that, which is beautiful. It has some very beautiful, amazing aspects to it that I love. I still collect rosaries. I still create rosaries because I think they're just beautiful. Prayer beads are just a way to meditate more deeply for me. But what I loved was the fact that we are being called, and I've heard this several times myself, we're being called to kind of reprogram the way that we have thought about some of the holy figures, and Mother Mary being one of them. And we're being asked to kind of really go deeper in our own meditations around, yes, this idea of sin. And you know, from what I have read and understand, that particular word was really actually never used by Jesus himself or Mother Mary or Mary Magdalene. Actually a created word later, hundreds of years later, that was put into writings, things along those lines. And so it's really interesting that Mother Mary is helping to kind of set the record straight and saying, Yeah, we're all human, we're all loved, we're all forgiven, and this is a journey. And so, yes, there's moments that we quote unquote miss the mark, which is another way to understand the definition of sin.
Mm-hmm.
Really meaning we just missed the mark today. It's like, okay, I just missed the mark. Try again next time. But I find
Right.
really beautiful the messages that come through around what Mother Mary is trying to do to help people who are still very caught up in some of the old programming, and where they're really kind of, like you said, beating themselves up because they have an interpretation or programming that doesn't allow them to be fully the free spiritual being that they are. And one thing that I find to be really fascinating about your channeling, you channel beautiful prayers. That's like one of the main things about a lot of people channel like her messages and everything, but your prayers that come through that she gives you to pray, like just putting new words to the Hail Mary. Wow, they're incredible. Do you have, well, before we go there, but I wanted to know if you wanted to share a particular prayer that's come through from Mother Mary, but I also want to open it up to see what questions or comments anybody has so far um, around all of this, anything we've talked about. So is there anything that anyone wants to share, or any questions or anything that you have received in your own connection with Mary? Because I know some of you may have a personal connection with her. Yes, Etta.
I mean, I try to talk to Mary every morning, Mary and Joshua and Mary Magdalene. And I do kind of hold her in this, and I have like pictures I have like Guadalupe, I have the Virgen de la Caridad, I have like different images of Mary in my altar area. I mean, that's the part of the Catholicism that I love, is that they honor Mary. But I love the idea of having her more like a sister or a friend instead of holding her up in a pedestal, because there is a disconnect.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I love that idea of just the heart. And because I have a little something that I say, because I pray to Mary primarily for faith, for like just, my prayer is, may I know and feel your amazing, steady, ongoing, strong, unconditional faith. I invoke that for myself, so that's what I pray for. But I love the idea of bringing her down, not down, but what I'm saying, that the idea that because with Joshua, I communicate more like a brother. It's like, okay, like, you're like a brother, guide me, walk with me today. Mary, I kind of hold up more like a, like, oh, Mother Mary, so I love the idea of, having her be beside me instead of holding her up in a pedestal. So I think that's going to help me maybe connect more. So I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you for saying that. And I love your prayer to Mary.
Yes, that's.
I love your prayer.
Linda told me once that I needed to really just invoke faith, and so to me, she I mean, she had to have faith all along. I mean, she lost her son. I mean, my gosh, and everything else, and she, she's has that energy to come and be with us, and because there's that complete trust and faith that, so to me, she represents. That's the biggest thing that she represents, besides love. I mean, just beautiful love, of course, but faith is something that I pray to her for. So, but yeah, that's I have a little, I'll show you, because it's a beautiful image of her that I love on a candle. And I filled up the candle right at the top, and now I light it, but I light, that's the first, I have several candles that I light as a little ritual, but she's the first one I light. I just want to get it going with Mary, and then I light some other ones that I have, but, and I'll bring you, because I found this image in West Texas, and I love this candle. So I've kept it. I have bunches of different candles, but this one in particular I love. I'll bring it in just a second. But
it's amazing how Mary is everywhere. Everywhere. Yeah. She really is. Whether it's in candles or whether it's in images or statues. I have a beautiful ebony statue from Africa. It's an African Mary. And she has her arms, in her hands in prayer, and she has a halo, and she's everywhere. And that's where she wants to be. That's exactly the way she wants to be. She wants to be everywhere with everyone, right here, not on high, or not in a special place where you have to go and, you know, do the thing or do the ritual or say the words or believe the thing. She really wants
And Rome, I mean, I went to that was the first basilica I went to in Rome. I was there last year. I mean, everywhere you go in Rome, but that basilica was gorgeous though. I know that she doesn't, but that basilica was like, because that was the first one I walked into. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in Rome. It was just beautiful. But yeah, Mary's everywhere. I mean, in Rome, forget it. I mean, forget about it. She's there. Forget about it. I'll bring the little candle.
Sure.
Oh, thank you, Detta, for sharing that. Yes, and Gayla.
Well, it's interesting. I've just had this big aha moment because I never equated Our Lady of Guadalupe being Mother Mary.
Oh.
It just like hit me just now.
Oh yeah.
And like, I don't know. It started with, I'm just like, this is like huge for me right now. But I believe it started with my mother-in-law, who's Mexican, and she used to wear Our Lady of Guadalupe. And somehow I ended up with her, Our Lady of Guadalupe, even though she has 2 daughters and 6 sons. I'm not sure how I ended up with that. And I used to give that gold chain and with this round pendant of Our Lady of Guadalupe to my daughters whenever they traveled. I would just take it off and put it on them, thinking that it was going to keep them safe. I really believed it would just keep them safe.
Yes.
Later I learned the value of gold, and gold also keeps you safe. But I really felt like there was this, the lady, the mother was going to keep them, or the sister, in that case, it would be like the mother, keeping them safe. And one of my daughters, the last trip that she took when they were older, and they're now 30, 29 today, one of them, Bianca, and Sophia, the youngest, is 25. And one of them ended up with it. And meanwhile, I have collected other medals. I have sought them out. And it's like, oh, wow. I found one in Mexico with Our Lady of Guadalupe, and on the other side, it had Jesus Christ. And at first I was like, no, I don't want one with Jesus Christ. And so I had to go through my own journey of that. And it's like I could never understand the Course in Miracles, really, because I couldn't let go of that. No, I don't want the Jesus, until I accepted it and accepted Jesus and all of that. I could like, really take in A Course in Miracles. And so I'm having this big aha. And I always went to, I believe, is it Chimayo in Taos, Mexico?
In New Mexico, yeah.
Yeah, I always went there and always like stocked up on the candles, you know, and like gave them away as gifts. In fact, I'm not even sure I have one anymore because I used to always just give them away. But it was like, it's just been a thing, and yet I've not been conscious of it. I don't pray to her. I don't bring it in. It's been absent in a sense in the last several years. I would say probably at least for 1 year. I haven't been to Taos in probably 1 year or 2 maybe. And since then, I haven't had her in my life. And so I thank you so much. I've made lots of connections, and I feel like I've brought her in. And she has not been like this distant thing, you know. She's been with me. I've carried her in her energy has been in the metal. Her energy has been around. It surrounds, and yeah, so thank you so much. And I might also add that reading a lot of meditations from Richard Rohr, who also has demystified the whole patriarchy of God sitting on some kind of pedestal, and that we are actually divine spirits. We are light beings inhabiting a body. I'm not so sure he actually talks like that, but he is demystifying it for the Christians and saying that really the Christians haven't even really begun their Catholic religion yet until they realize that. And so your meditation, Linda, about, you know, being connected to that divine, it's like, yeah, it's such a beautiful image if we forget that we're light beings, that we can connect, and it's almost like recharge us like a battery, like, boom, there we are, you know?
Yes, because we need the earth to recharge us as divine beings, to connect with all that is. And I wanted to say that Mary's been with you all this time. You know, you didn't realize it. You knew exactly what to do, but you didn't realize it.
Yeah.
With that medal, you knew exactly, you knew innately to give the medal to your daughters to play with, even without even knowing it.
Yeah.
And so she's been working on you. I lived in Guatemala, and I was a teacher at the what was it? The American School of Guatemala. I was a middle school teacher, and a missionary who was there, an American missionary, was leaving, and he was selling his car. It was this old Toyota Tercel, and I wanted to buy it off of him, and I bought it. And it was the perfect Guatemala car. It looked like nothing special. White Toyota Tercel, about 10 years old. But after I bought it, I thought, it's same as you. I didn't even understand or know exactly what I was doing, but I went down to a Catholic bookstore down the street from where I lived, and they had all the little medals and trinkets and prayers and things and beads. And I bought a dashboard, Our Lady of Guadalupe, and stuck it on the dashboard, and I thought, that's my insurance. I had real insurance too. But the Mother Mary statue was my insurance, and I just knew I had to go to the store, and I picked up the Our Lady of Guadalupe because she's Our Lady of the Americas, and I thought, perfect, there we go. That's my insurance. She is looking out for me, living in this country that's foreign, that I'm driving around in. So sometimes you do things. Sometimes you're guided to do things you don't understand why. You just do them because you know that they're true. So I'm sure everybody has a story like that. That clear cognizance kicks in. Oh,
isn't she sweet? I love that image. I just think it was a really sweet one.
That is
it's the Sacred Heart, and I do love the Sacred Heart.
I love that.
And it just has a sweet face that I love, and I got one for my daughter, and but I just love she just has that really sweet face on that one, so I really like it.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And the last thing I wanted to talk to you was about love, because her messages seem to come, a recurring theme with her is about love for yourself, which is part of the forgiveness process. When you let go of the sin and thinking of yourself as a sinner, once we do that, we can release the guilt and the shame, and that's that's a lifelong process. So be kind, please. She reminds me to be kind with myself. So she will say this to all of you, to please be kind with yourself. It doesn't, letting go of sin or letting go of guilt and shame is going to be a lifelong process, especially if it's been programmed into you like a lifelong Catholic. I feel like the Catholic Church has the guilt and shame shtick down pat. But the flip side of that is learning to love yourself and forgive yourself of all the things that need to be forgiven. And this is something that you can ask her to help you with too, in learning to love yourself and to forgive yourself and to let go of the shame and the guilt burdens that you're carrying around. Because the bigger goal is to expand that love, not just to your circle that you love already, your children and your parents and your spouse and the people in your family and your friends, and of course you love them. You love them. They're in your tribe. They're in your circle. But Mary is asking you to love humanity, and that's a bigger ask because she's asking you to love the people that you hate, that you, the ones who make you angry, the ones that that you don't think about even. It's a much harder step to take sometimes, because again, we're human. And we have human feelings, and again, I mean, she understands this, but she is asking us to please, when we pray for humanity, and when we love all humanity, because that is, I think, what all of us are being asked to do in this new feminine time frame. It involves the future of our planet, of our existence. This is our new way of existing, is through love of everyone. No matter how hard it is, just pray for it and to love everyone, no matter how difficult that may be. I had the way I get information is pictures in my head. So, you know, form of clairvoyance. But I imagined myself like flying through the air and inviting anybody who wants to fly with me through to the heavens, you know, to fly through the air with Mary, or to fly with the divine, to fly in the cosmos, you know, when you're free and you're spreading goodness and love and joy, you're in your element, in your glory, but inviting everyone who wants to take hold of that vibration, kind of like a kite tail, and they want to fly, they want to grab on, they want to hold on to that, they want whatever it is that you're offering. Invite anybody to have that, not just the people you like, not just certain groups, everybody. And I remember getting that for the first time, and it was like, okay, now I understand where you're coming from. I have to offer my energy, the love that I have, to everyone, not just you and you and you and you, and not those people. So it's a challenge, but one that we all have been tasked with, and one that she's willing to help us with.
Renee, I know you have so many incredibly beautiful prayers that have
Yes.
what Mother Mary has given you. I know you have this beautiful forgiveness prayer.
Yes.
That I remember coming through from you. That I thought would be a beautiful one to share if you have that one. And there was another one. They did a recent one that has to do with the rose. I mean, she literally gave you a new prayers to do, right?
Yes, I think I do have one for forgiveness. Yes. Oh, yeah, and I have it right here. Woo!
I want to share it.
Okay, this is a prayer for forgiveness. It's part of a rosary. So if you're familiar with a rosary, there are 5 places on a rosary bead to stop. I mean, you say 10 Hail Marys and then you stop, and it's a good place for a prayer and a reflection. And so I wrote 5 different like prayers and reflections for this rosary, and this is called the Rosary of Healing. And so the first step is forgiveness. The first step in your healing is forgiveness. So I'd love to read that for you. And this was channeled. These were all her. The first part were her words, and the second part were the words I wrote as a prayer to her, but she helped me with the formulation of the words. So the prayer for forgiveness, she says, "Heavenly children, if only you knew how God and your Divine Mother look upon you with such profound love, you would understand that there is no need to carry the heavy burdens of anger, shame, judgment, and fear. Your Blessed Mother asks you to surrender these emotions at her feet now. Forgive others now. Forgive yourself now. Make a plea from the depths of your heart to release these bonds now. It is the time to let them go." And the prayer to help with that is, "Holy Mother, I have carried these wounds for so long, I hardly remember why I refuse to forgive myself and others. I release these bonds between myself and others and myself with myself to you now and again and again and again. Please help me to pry my spirit free from these heavy emotions and forgive now and forever. Amen."
Wow, isn't that beautiful? Oh, it gives me
Thank you.
chills every time that you read any of these gorgeous prayers that you have channeled. They're just incredible.
Thank you. Recently, I wrote the prayer for humanity. I was feeling the heavy burden of current events, and I was in deep prayer and meditation, and I asked, what can I do? I am one person in this world of almost 8 billion people. What can I do to affect change? And I got the idea to write again another rosary, but this Rosary for Humanity. And it's a prayer for humanity, and it helps to heal. It helped to heal my my thoughts, the things that I was struggling with. And so in a way, with this one, Mary and I co-wrote it. And there were times when I had to stop and say, am I understanding you correctly? Is this how you want me to say it? And there were times when she would kind of say these words instead of the ones that you chose, because I wanted it to come 100% from her, not from me. Get myself out of the way. And you can have a copy of this Rosary for Humanity. There's a link to download. It's a PDF, so it's a booklet actually. So it's got the 5 different prayers, reflections and prayers for the Rosary for Humanity, but it also is a little guide about how to pray a rosary. And if you want to do the traditional Catholic kind of rosary, I've got all the different prayers for that. Or if you want to do a simple rosary where you just pray Hail Mary and the reflections and prayers, you can do it that way. You can do it however you want. Your prayer is yours, and she's listening. So it doesn't have to be done in a certain way in order for it to work. It will always work as long as you call her from your heart. Oh, and I wanted to say something about now and forever. Those were the words given to me, now and forever, instead of now and at the hour of our death. Now and forever. We are eternal, right? We're eternal beings. And so it's now and till the end of time. So
Renee, I just went and got the link that you gave us in the email so that people can go to the chat and you can click on that link and it'll take you to the place on her website where you can download the PDF, correct? For the Rosary for Humanity.
Yes.
Yeah. It is a rosary. She did a live Facebook of this particular channeled rosary prayers that she received. Was it, what, 3 weeks ago or so? 4 weeks?
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks ago. I felt called to do it, with Black Lives Matter, with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and others that had been killed through systemic racism. I heard do this. And I went through all the struggles, like, oh gosh, no, I don't think I could do it. I don't know. There are people out, my friends don't know I do this thing. And finally I just did it. I hit the button, go live button, and I did it. So, and I feel liberated as somebody who works with Mary. I kind of feel like I was freed from a level of constraint that I put on myself, that, it's a fear of, if I come out of the closet, so to speak, as a Mary messenger or a modern mystic, I kind of think of myself as that. Are people going to think of me as a freak, or are they going to knock my door down and kill me? I know that's happened in the past, past lives. And I just feared that would happen to me in this lifetime. And it's taken a lot of reassurance to know that that's not going to happen.
Right. Oh, that's beautiful. Well,
I feel called to share one more prayer, and that's the prayer for humanity, or one of the prayers for humanity. So I think I have it. Yes, I do. This is one of the reflections and prayers from my Rosary for Humanity. And it is called, Our Differences Are Our Strength. So I'd love to share this with you. And this is a good prayer to say if you're struggling with the call to love everybody, to cast your net of love out to everybody, because there's some people that we just don't see eye to eye with. We don't necessarily like them, but this is a calling in. This helps to heal that. And it goes like this. In the world I live in, it has become too easy to dismiss whole groups of people as other, when in truth, in my heart of hearts, I know that we all make up the fabric of humanity. As much as I sometimes find myself picking and choosing who I like and don't like, I know this is not your way and the way of Jesus. Dear Blessed Mother, when I feel tempted to blame and condemn others, fill me with your love for all humanity. Remind me that people at their core want the same things: to have dignity, to be seen, and to be loved. Amen.
that gave me chills.
And again, thank you. That is on the Rosary for Humanity. So hopefully that will help just to open up our hearts to include everyone and everything. We're praying for the planet. And I wanted to say too, the Blessed Mother has given me images and messages that she and Mother Earth are working together. It's almost, they're definitely sisters. It's almost like they're one and the same. I don't know. What are you getting on that, Linda?
For sure, the consciousness that we call mother, divine mother, divine feminine, my understanding is that it infiltrates all. And so when we call Earth Mother Earth, it has an aspect of it that is in physical form, which is our Earth, that is a representation of an aspect of Divine Mother. So Divine Mother is not just the invisible aspect of Divine Mother that we understand, but there's also the physical aspect of Divine Mother, which in this case, I connect that with Mother Earth in many ways. But that's just my limited understanding.
Yeah.
everybody has other understandings around that as well.
Well, it seems that Mother Mary calls on us to love the earth deeply, and that when we pray, to pray not just for human beings or the people, but pray for the planet and respect all aspects of the planet too. So there is a deep connection between Mother Mary and Mother Earth, as if they're working in conjunction.
That feels very resonant, what you're saying. Sure. Does anyone else have any other awarenesses or things you want to share or questions for Renee, either around her prayers or about Mother Mary, or any messages you want to ask that maybe she's received in these last 8 years from Mother Mary? So if you have any curiosities, please be willing to
Yes.
ask. That it?
The curiosity about her relationship with Mary Magdalene.
Gosh, you know what? I'm going to be straight up honest with you. I have not gone into this relationship. I have been to places of Mary Magdalene in France, but I don't feel like it's my calling to explore that. And I apologize because I don't have any.
I was just curious.
I don't have any answers for you. It hasn't come through. I was wondering if there was anything that felt like it needed to be said about it, and I'm not getting that.
It's okay.
Yeah,
I was just curious.
I heard like a sister and a daughter, but nothing more than that. Yeah, I admit I am not. I'm not. That my knowledge of that just falls short.
I know that just my understanding in kind of diving into Mary Magdalene a couple of months ago when I did a 9-day novena, listening to Mary Magdalene, she just kind of came to me one day and just kind of tapped me on the shoulder and said, I'd like to channel some messages through you. And I'm like, oh, okay, that never happened before. But my understanding is similar to what you just said, Renee. The message and the sense that I felt was that Mother Mary very much was like a mother figure in many ways to Mary Magdalene, and almost like a mentor to Mary Magdalene in some ways. Was kind of how I kind of sense the energy in some of the times that I've connected with Mary Magdalene, and then of course the times I have connected with Mary. I can definitely feel a difference in their energy frequencies, but there is a deep love and this incredible loving, like I said, mother-daughter mentor bond between Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. At least that's been my experience. Limited experience, because I'm not there's some people out there that are full-on Mary Magdalene channels, and even though I definitely connect with her and she's one of my guides, I don't like tune in every single week doing channeled messages from her. But in the time a couple of months ago when I was really diving into her energy for a while, she literally just called to me. There's a book that you had mentioned to me, Mary Magdalene Revealed by Meg Watterson, right?
Amazing.
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I've read.
I need to read it again. It was, yeah.
Several books that have been channeled messages that people have received concerning Mary Magdalene. And Meg Watterson is not only someone who has a very deep heart connection with Mary Magdalene, but she's also a scholar, like an academic scholar in that field, and done tons of research around Mary Magdalene. So I just, that book really just blew me away.
That popped up for me in Amazon. I was looking at the books on my Kindle, and that was one of the recommended ones for me, and it called to me too. So I will I would
read it. It's wonderful. And my sense of from the book and because I did your novena also, I did both of them, the Mary Magdalene and the Mary, they're both about the heart. And so with Mary Magdalene, what I pray for her is the unity. What I got from the book is that she is the one that can unify. I mean, she is the example of unifying. So I pray for her, unite my mind, my heart, and my soul. I mean, just through the heart. But I can envision like the 3 spots in my body is the way I see it. But they're both really about the heart. But Mary Magdalene was all about, I mean, both of them were there for Joshua's death, but she was the one that actually was there for his, when he appeared again. And she had to have that awareness that to accept that, to be able to see him at who he really was, or, when he was, anyway. So it's a great book. So I would recommend it. But I think to me, if nothing else, they connect because of the heart. Mm-hmm. It's all about the heart for both of them.
I definitely think that, sure.
I feel called to read about Mary Magdalene, especially in terms of trying to figure out what happened to the women of the church. I think they got written out of history, but
there's a gospel.
I'm asking some questions, perhaps to Mary Magdalene. What happened to you all? I know it wasn't just all men all the time writing all the gospels. There were women doing the work too. I'm sure of it. So.
Oh yeah.
And she was the main apostle. She was the main one.
Yeah. Right.
So.
Yeah.
Anyways, but read the book. Definitely, it's a wonderful book.
Yeah. And it does talk a lot about how at that time women, it just wasn't the thing to put a woman next to a man in an equal position. And so Jesus at that time actually had Mary Magdalene right up next to him in an equal place. In Magdalene Revealed, it talks a little about that actually. But also when I was doing some deeper meditations with Mary Magdalene on all of that and that relationship she had with Jesus, the message I just kept getting is that we're all equal. And he did something that at that time was like a big, no, you don't have a man invite a woman to stand on stage, so to speak, with you in an equal level of power. And so he actually did that. And so, of course, the crowds would see it, and he would actually announce to the crowds that they would need to, equally speak to Mary Magdalene along with him. It was really fascinating, some of the research that was brought forth in that book, Magdalene Revealed, where it talks about this. And she talks about the Gospel of Mother Mary, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. Like these were writings that were actually taken out, of the Bible in certain time periods. So there's actual Gospels written by women, by Mary and Mary Magdalene both. So it's really fascinating.
I can't wait to read it.
Yeah. Well, is there other questions before we close with any? I definitely want us to close with another beautiful prayer from Mother Mary, but is there other questions, awarenesses, anything else coming up that anyone wants to share? Oh, I want to show everyone. Do you have some of your beautiful collage work?
Oh, I do. Yeah, I just finished one actually, and it's kind of it's interesting. It's interesting. Let's see.
This beautiful channeled collage work that comes, I feel, very directly, divinely guided by Mother Mary. And I feel that many of the pieces that you do, again, it's taking this idea of Mother Mary and bringing it down into the modern.
Yes.
Which I just love, so that Mother Mary, she wants you to know that she's so accessible. even in art, because of course art back, 1,000 years ago exalted, this incredible, beautiful pictures of exalted Mother Mary, which are incredible. But
Right.
I love that she channels through you just the more modern, everyday Mary. So, yeah.
So I've been inspired to take kind of some one-line messages of hers and to put those messages to art. However the art comes through, whether it's a color vibration or whether it's pictures or however it's translated, pair up the message to the artwork. And the message for this piece is what I mentioned tonight. The message is, don't carry the weight of your sorrow around anymore. Hand it over and allow me to deal with it for you. And this is the art. I hope that you could see that. Can you see that okay? If you put me in the speaker view.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's a woman floating in a pool, but as if Mary is supporting her in her float. And it says, just float, don't worry, Mary's got this. So
Beautiful.
it's also, her divinity, our divinity is showing through, that we are divine beings. So anyway, yeah, I just finished that one.
Wow, that is so synchronistic. That's what I felt like in the water this morning.
I bet you did. I
was floating, and that's what I wrote to my daughters. It's so crazy, the synchronicity. And I was going to go get my Our Lady of Guadalupe that I bought in, I don't know how many years ago, almost 20 some years ago, in a shrine too. It's just beautiful. They're good. And I want to tell you also that my energy has already shifted.
Oh,
just by turning it over, I just like gave the guilt that I was feeling, that it's already shifted. New energy is already coming in, new ideas, new freshness. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. Wonderful.
And I just wanted to show you, remember, Renee, when you created these beautiful...
I do remember that. Yeah.
These cards, these are all some of her, you can't see it, I don't know why.
Yeah, I think it's because of the green screen.
For the green screen, yeah. But there's like a set of 12 of these different cards, and on the back there's prayers.
Oh yes, that's right. I have all of those prayers too. Right.
Put them on this little wooden thing, and then every day you can change one out. And I mean, I have a Mother Mary altar. I've had it for, I always have a Mother Mary altar because I love Mother Mary. And so I will change these out with different prayers. And it has and each one is one of her collage art pieces. I feel that, these are ways that people can, in a very normal way, without having to be Catholic, without having to pay the rosary, to just have a beautiful, loving, very real connection with Mother Mary. And I just love all of your beautiful art that you put out there, because it helps people to feel like, yeah, she's able to connect with me, and I'm able to connect with her. It's not this exalted Catholic thing, or I fell from the church, and so I have connected to Mother Mary. I mean, I've heard clients tell me that, and I'm like, no. You can have a loving, amazing relationship with Mother Mary, no matter where you are, in your own spiritual or religious developmental process. And it has nothing to do with, you being a perfect Catholic, or you being a perfect Mother Mary follower, or all that stuff that we've been programmed with. So that's why
I believed all of that programming for a long time too, just let it go. Oh, look at that.
Beautiful.
Oh, is that the Polish Our Lady of Częstochowa from Poland?
I bought it in Mexico.
Oh, wow.
I bought it from a shrine in Mexico in, I think it was Querétaro.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Like about 24 years ago, so or something like that. 20 some years ago, yeah.
That's beautiful. I love the frame. Oh, it's just splendid.
Yeah, and you know what? I had painted my room where I had it hung, and I hadn't put it back today yet. I hadn't put anything on the walls yet, and now I know why. This is going to be what's on the wall.
I wanted to mention something about the cards that Linda held up a card of Fatima. It was I wish we could see that better. Anyway, if I had them handy, I would grab it and show it. But there was a card inspired. There it is, by Our Lady of Fatima. And it has Our Lady of Fatima standing on the globe. And, you know, when I got the inspiration to create this card, I thought, you know what? I don't feel good about the apparition at Fatima. I've never felt connected to Fatima. I don't know how much you all are aware of the apparition or the messages that came from Fatima. So there were three peasant children back in the 1918, I think, in Portugal, and they were shepherding sheep, I think, and Mother Mary appeared to them and gave them a very scary apocalyptic message. And I was angry about that because it was a very fearful message, kind of like if the world doesn't turn it around, there's going to be, you know, hellfire and brimstone, something like that. It was very scary. There was also a message about Russia, something about Russia having a change of heart, but it was a very apocalyptic message that was frightening. And I sat down and I have this relationship with her where I can say, Mary, come on, why are you scaring children? Why are you scaring children? And she said something like, these are the words I had to say at the time for people to understand. And it wasn't meant to scare children. It wasn't meant to terrify people, because it was talking about that sin, like get your sin together, because the world is going to blow up, or the world will be destroyed if you don't pray for sinners, and if you don't get your sin in order. So I just thought, this isn't the message. I get messages of love from you and about forgiveness, and what is all this about sin? But she just said these were the things that had to be said at the time in order for people to understand. And that's the way it had to be. Like people needed to be told things in a certain way. But really, I forget the exact words. Maybe Linda, what's on the back of the card?
Yeah, on the back of the card, it says Fatima 2017, Our Lady of Fatima. It says, many grim messages and images were given to 3 shepherd children at Fatima, Portugal in 1917. Messages of a future world war, of urgent repentance for sins, of Soviet Russia, of threats to the head of the Catholic Church, and visions of hell and destruction. With such words and visions, it may be difficult to find any messages of love, peace, and hope. On the 100th anniversary of the apparitions of Our Lady of Fatima, remember that she also asked that the whole world be consecrated to her immaculate heart. In other words, she has such profound love for all people, and she makes this love available to all people when they ask for her intercession with their whole heart, the whole world, no exceptions. Dear Mother Mary, help me to remember that your heart spans the entire world. When I am feeling defeated, show me your immaculate heart. There's so much.
Thank you, Linda.
Beautiful. Yeah, these are such, and you have the originals, right? You still
I
have,
do. Oh, yeah.
and so if you want one of her originals of these, I'm telling you, get it now before it becomes incredibly.
Oh, well. Thank you.
Mary Dormition and Assumption. Mary's Dormition and Assumption, another one.
Yeah.
So yeah, her art is incredible. So
Thank you. Thank you.
plug your art because it's so gorgeous. I don't know anyone else who does Mother Mary art like yours. So.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, I guess it's about time to close, right?
Yes, I just want to make sure. Any last questions? Anything else anybody has to say? Also, Renee, on that site where they can get the Rosary for Humanity,
Yes.
they also get the Rosary for Healing. Is it?
No, but I can.
You want to type?
How about I can send it to you as a PDF,
Okay,
and
great.
you can email it to people. I do have it as a PDF.
Okay, perfect.
And what's that?
That's the prayers in that one are really beautiful.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, that was all channeled.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Any last questions?
Oh, you muted yourself, Linda.
Sorry. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Okay, here I am. Any last questions before we close today? All right. Well, Renee, do you want to share one last
message?
And a message from Mother Mary, and then I'll.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, she's already here. She's already speaking through me, but she says, "My daughters, thank you so much for your presence. Thank you so much for stepping forward, for being willing to listen, for being willing to open your hearts, for being willing to take this step forward as beautiful daughters and women of humanity. This is a time that women have not seen themselves in before. And women are being asked into a role that we have not tried on before. But please consider and be willing to put on this new role as role models of love. Put on this cloak like a beautiful robe and consider stepping forward into the light, into this time, which is the time of the new divine feminine. This is a role that is calling you and others like you and your daughters and your mothers. And it doesn't matter if you are present in this world physically or in spirit. For the women, we women are all joining together arm in arm to show a new way forward. And that new way forward is through love, and not through force, and not through war. It's a new way that humanity hasn't tried in a very long time. And it is a role model that we don't have at our fingertips. We don't know what it looks like. And that's okay. That's okay. And that is where divine guidance assists you at this time for taking on this new role. And that is how the Blessed Mother, Mother Mary, wishes to help you step forward in this new role. And it might cause fear, and it might make you feel like it's not something that you're capable of. But please understand that it is programmed within you, that you have this strength within you. So consider stepping forward, put on this cloak and step forward and help to lead the way into this new world, this new way of being. And I just wish to thank you for your service. Thank you for listening with the ears of your heart. And thank you for being you, uniquely you. And I just wish you to know and remember always how much I profoundly love you. Thank you very, very much.
Oh, that was beautiful. Mother Mary, thank you for speaking beautifully through Renee. And I just say thank you so much for your presence here on this earth with us, as a sister, as an aunt, as a mother, as a confidant, as that one who chooses to take on our burdens and transmute them back into the light. I ask that you hold each of these beautiful women and all those who will see this replay in such love and such light, such blessings, helping us to really be that love in the world, to really help us to begin to heal the places in ourselves where we have had difficulty loving others, loving ourselves, and loving the greater humanity. So with that, I seal everything in light. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Renee. Thank
you.
All you beautiful souls out there for being here present, having a beautiful love and light here, and also for those who are. And Gayla, do you want to say something?
No,
Okay.
just thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Renee.
Thank you so much.
And then I'll share the PDF with y'all, so I'll send the email.
Yes. Thank you so much. I really appreciated having you all here and getting to know you. And this has helped me too, to use my voice and to start sharing these messages. She's been asking me all these years, but now I'm finally doing it.
Yes, we'll be doing more of these, I'm sure.
Thank you so much.
Blessings, everyone. Y'all have a beautiful Sunday and a beautiful week. And just keep doing your beautiful prayers because, you know, July is going to be interesting as all these months have been. So we're still in this eclipse energy from July, from yesterday. And so it's really important for us to really keep holding these higher spaces of love and light. I really have been feeling very strongly Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, the Christ energy, all of the beautiful divine beings that are here to support us. I've been feeling their presence very strongly these last couple of days. I feel like we are being held even more as we move into this next half of the year. We're going to be moving into some really interesting challenges as a country and as a world. And so we're being held very strongly right now. So for us to really continue deepening even more our connections with the invisible realms, our connections with those holy beings that mean a lot to our hearts. So we all have holy beings that we have very close connections to, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, the Christ light, maybe certain ascended masters you have a real close connection with, or archangels or saints. I mean, there's many, many, many beings of love and light right now that are just waiting. They're literally just like waiting for you to just call on them and invoke them. So to invoke means to call on. So I invoke Mother Mary, I invoke Mary Magdalene, I invoke the Christ light, I invoke Saint, Catherine or whoever. You invoke them by calling them by name. And there is a law in the universe of God that when you call something by name, it must show up.
Oh, wow.
So it is, so when you invoke, you're doing it with, of course, reverence, because they will show up. So know that even if you're not sensitive to feeling their presence, they're there. Even if your frequency isn't at a high enough space to be able to see them, they're there. So just know that invocation is powerful. Our voice can invoke. So when you invoke anything, anyone, any higher being by name, they must appear, whether it's in your heart or through a sense, but they're there. So just know that, yes, Mother Mary is here, has been here with us. We've been receiving lots of her beautiful love and presence and blessings, and raining down so much grace from her right now. I'm just feeling it very strongly. So I just want to remind you all that when you invoke, these divine beings do come every single time, every time. There's not a time that they don't. So with love and light, enjoy invoking Mother Mary in the eye and moving forward from there, and see what beautiful blessings she brings to you. And thank you so much, Renee, for being that beautiful, incredible mouthpiece of a modern Mary, because so many people need to hear your message that Mother Mary wants all of us to connect with her, no matter who we are, where we are, at whatever level, and that, we're just being human. We're not sinners. We're just being human. So I love that message. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that encouragement. So when I get it in my head, thank you.
Exactly. Well, blessings, everyone. Mwah! Y'all have a beautiful evening. I'll be sending out the replay to everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.